3, 2, 1. Oh my God, that's cold.
Oh, wow.
Wow is right, Ryan. Welcome back to You Betcha Radio Podcast. I'm Miles, the You Betcha guy, here with Ryan, the T-shirt guy. We got a great show lined up for you. We're going to talk the end of March Madness, and then we're going to maybe even talk about what type of brand of truck you like to drive. We'll have all of that, and let's just get into the show.
I would venture to say it's almost the nectar of the gods. Back, baby, back. I want my push. Oh my God, that's cold.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back again to the You Betcha Radio Podcast. I went on a little week hiatus, so I think we're on episode 15.
14.
Episode 14. Guys, go follow us on @OUBetcha, all of our social channels. You can also go follow myself @Ryan, the T-shirt guy. And we're still wrangling up the best ranch in the Midwest, so go follow us on @Ranch Wrangler. Now, this week, soon, we're getting ready to dial the T-shirts in. We're going to send those out as soon as possible. The crew necks, the spring crew necks. On top of that, guys, we're getting ready for bar takeovers. And with the bar takeovers, we have a lot of gear that we have to bring with us. So we kind of got the recent hookup.
Yeah, we did. So U Motors in Fargo and Pelican Lakes, Minnesota, they absolutely hooked us up. They were able to get us a trailer to carry all of our set, all of our lights, all of our camera, couch, all that stuff. And they don't even traditionally do trailers, but they found a trailer for us. They hooked us up. What they do traditionally do, they have great brands like Honda, Yamaha, Ski-Doo, Can-Am, Sea-Doo even. And then all the boats, right? It's an Nautique boats, Super Boats, Supreme Boats, and Avalon pontoons. And they were very nice to say that You Betcha listeners will get 20% off parts and accessories just by mentioning this ad. Obviously, some exclusions may apply. You can check them out on Facebook, Instagram, but you can also check them out on their website, Ryan, if you're surfing the web at umotorsinc.com. Again, you can check them out at umotorsinc.com. They hooked us up. They'll hook you up as well.
Did you throw that pun in there? Surfing the web.
Yeah, surfing behind your super boat.
Super boat.
Supras. And then this podcast is also brought to you by the place where we'll be having our first bar takeover, the Showboat Saloon. They are the best place for live music, entertainment, and Busch Light. They have actually been a saloon since 1907, Ryan. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That is crazy to me. All they care about is entertaining people, and they offer bands, they offer DJs, karaoke, they have UFC fights, boxing, WWE matches, anything you could want. Yeah, even WWE.
Ooh.
I think WrestleMania just happened too.
It did, yeah.
So here's where it really sweetens the pot, Ryan. $1 Busch Lights at the Showboat Saloon every Wednesday. And then the day that we are taking it over, the Saturday, April 27th, they're going to have $1 Busch Light special. So basically they're paying you to come drink Busch Light. And the band that will be there will be called the Swing Crew. I've heard it's a great crew. Yeah, the Showboat Saloon, our first bar takeover in the Wisconsin Dells. I forgot to mention that. The Wisconsin Dells, Showboat Saloon, it's been there for over 100 years. So
yeah, I mean, I never thought that the first time I go to Wisconsin Dells was going to be just to a bar, a saloon for that matter. I thought it would be to the water park. But
Ryan, when we go there, we're going to stay at a hotel and have some slides. So
they have $1 Busch Lights though.
I'm sure we can go there on the Friday before and get some $1 Busch Lights.
Yeah. That gets me excited for the end of April.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Those two, U Motors and Showboat, have been awesome to work with. And I'm excited for the end of April because they're both helping out with the tour.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the first step of many bar takeovers, the Showboat Saloon. It's kind of like a monumental bar takeover for us. The first one
The
ever.
Showboat will always have
Yeah.
a special moment in my heart.
Well, and Dollar Bush Lights on Wednesdays, that, to me, that sounds like a nasty Thursday. But I think at that point, it's worth it.
Right. You went on your own tour in the last however many days, Ryan. You were a world traveler.
I was.
We talked about it last in the podcast. You were in Germany.
Yep.
Do they have Busch Light in Germany?
They don't. They
So that's a big surprise.
This is interesting. They so I was staying in Cologne, Germany, and they have this beer specifically brewed in Germany or in Cologne. It's called Kolsch. K-O with the two dots. L-S-C-H.
Yep.
Kolsch.
I think I've seen that before, or would I have not have seen it before?
You wouldn't have seen it before because,
sure?
well, I don't think. See, the thing is, when Kolsch is transported, it loses a lot of its flavor, a lot of its carbonation.
Before we get too deep in this, Ryan is about to go full craft beer snob.
Full craft beer, but it's not. It's not a craft beer though. It's a light beer.
But you basically are going to act such as a craft beer snob.
Okay, so me, I am going to step into Hans right
Hans,
now.
the alter ego, yes. Craft beer drinking Hans.
Yeah, Kolsch is brewed specifically in Cologne. Now, there's a bunch of different kinds of Kolsch, like Gaffel Kolsch, Sun Kolsch, things like that. I think we tried just about all of them. I had one Guinness, and that was pretty cool because it was right in an Irish pub. Obviously, we were in Ireland,
You
so it
can't get
wasn't.
much more authentic Guinness than that.
I mean, unless I
you
was in
go
Ireland. Yeah,
Unless you go to where it's actually brewed.
exactly.
It's
So,
basically the same thing over there.
yeah, we drank a lot of Kolsch, and yeah, you wouldn't have.
You get them in the big mugs.
You can get them in the liter mugs, yeah, those get dangerous because it's so good. But a lot of the times, what they do is you go to the bar or restaurant, and you say, hey, "Can I get a beer?" You don't even tell them a kind; they'll bring you out a Kolsch because that's custom in Cologne, Germany. But they serve them to you in 0.2 liter glasses, so they're like yay big.
Freaking metric system. Or
Yep.
which makes so much sense.
Yeah. So another thing over there too is that like the beers flow so nicely because they're in such a small glass. But what the waiter does, or waiter or waitress, is they'll take the deal you put your beer on. Why am I
Coaster?
They'll take your coaster and then they'll just mark how many beers that you guys have had throughout the whole night until you get your tab. So they can just grab that. They have the count right there and you're good to go.
Oh.
But they won't stop serving you until you put your coaster on top of your beer. They'll just keep bringing them out, keep bringing them out, keep bringing them out.
So as soon as it's gone,
Yeah.
your beer's gone, they don't even ask, they just bring another one.
Yeah, they have like this carrier with probably like 10 to 15 0.2 liters of Kolsch on it. And if they walk by your table and you're almost finished, they'll just put a new one next to you.
I like that.
It's crazy.
I wish more bars would do that. I am constantly having to wave down a waitress or go to the bar and try to work my way into a busy bar just to get a beer, when they should just, instead of having shot girls walk around like they do at a lot of
They should
bars
have
and stuff, they
Busch
should
Light.
just have a Busch Light girl walking
Yeah.
around with a thing of Busch Light.
Yeah, it was super convenient, but also like super dangerous at the same time. Because I mean, you're drinking 0.2 liters. You could be 15 deep and like.
Alcohol poisoning is just not a big deal, Ryan.
So yeah, I was a little bit of a European traveler the last week. It's good to be back. My sleep schedule is finally in line with what I was 7 hours different over there. So I would be texting you at like 2 a.m. here. And it'd be, I'd be up and at 'em for a couple hours already over there. So,
Huh, that's weird. Yeah. So, what else did you learn anything new over there, Ryan? Or you just all you think about the whole time that you were in Germany is just about t-shirts? What kind of t-shirts do they got over there?
man, that's an interesting question because I can't really peg that because
I thought I sent you over there to do some R&D.
well, a lot of the tax write-off, the R&D work. They wear a lot of sweaters. And I was at a fitness convention, so you can imagine how many meatheads were there, and there was little to no clothing being worn at that show.
Jeez, Ryan, keep it in your pants.
But other than that, we took a day trip to Amsterdam. Again, another interesting world over there. pretty much everyone says what happens in Amsterdam stays in
Oh,
Amsterdam.
okay, I was gonna ask you, are
Yeah.
you gonna share any stories from Amsterdam, or are you just gonna leave them as it is?
No, I'll leave that up in the air. That
Use your
might be
imagination, folks.
might be for a different podcast, but no, the European
That should
tour.
be like the late night podcast, the after hours podcast.
Yeah, I think that would go well. There's a lot to say about Amsterdam, even though we were only there for about 6 hours. It felt like we spent 2 months there. But again, yeah, it was a good trip overall.
Hope I feel that way about Wisconsin Dells at the Showboat when
Well,
I'm
I think
there.
we're going to, based off of what you had just said. Any bar that's been around for over 100 years.
I did not know that before,
mean-
just recently, obviously.
I mean, you think of people own businesses for like 10, 20 years and they hang it up and they're like, God, that was such a good
Well,
run.
we're approaching a year here in a few months, and it feels like I've been at it for 10 years.
Yeah, but think about 100 plus years. Obviously, it's passed down, not the same person's running it, but at the same time, for generation after generation to want to keep going with this thing.
Well, I think since the beginning of time till the end of time, people will want to consume some sort of beverage that's going to make them feel good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a great business to get into.
Here's a question for you. When was Busch Light founded?
1989 was the first year that it became a thing.
Okay. Do you know what the original can looked like?
Not off the top of my head.
We should maybe look that up.
Yeah, we should. But it was funny because I talked about how Busch Light became a thing in 1989, and some guy tweeted back at me, "Oh, Bush burp! Very great timing on a Bush burp." He tweeted back at me and said that he was born in 1988, and he said that was the worst year of his life. So that was a great joke. I don't
Yeah,
know if I'm gonna be able to like.
Oh my God.
Is this a Bush? Yeah, there it is. So I mean, it had the mountains. It says Busch Light Draft on it.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, it's obviously evolved from there. We should maybe like throw a photo up on the podcast video just to show the.
if I can remember to do that.
Yeah. Why don't you give us a quick audio visual of the 1989 Busch Light?
This is
Well,
a
we're looking at
bottle. Do they have a can? This looks like it looks like it's kind of the same. It is your traditional blue color with a silver background. A lot more silver on this can than traditional ones. It has the mountains in the background. The Busch Light in the middle of the can is not going up at an angle like the regular traditional Busch Light can. It's just straight across. It says Busch Light. There's 2 lines on the either side of light. They have the Anheuser-Busch logo below that, and then it just says draft. So, pretty standard. I wouldn't even say that it looks like it's green, but that just might be this bad photo.
We should maybe take some inspiration from the. Ooh, if we did like a blue shirt with gold, like a gold design to kind of mimic.
To commemorate the, what is it, 30 years this year?
Yeah.
Carry the one.
Yeah, it would be 30.
Yeah, 30.
11 to 2000 plus 19. Yep.
Could be
the
a great
30-year
thing for the
anniversary.
merch. Could be a great thing for the merch.
So 1989. I wonder what kind of Wednesday specials the Showboat Saloon was having in let's just say 1910, because it takes a little bit to kind of get that under your feet and like, hey, we should start running
No,
specials
you said
now.
1989. You mean 1907, but you're now we're talking about 1910.
Well, yeah, because we'll give them 3 years to get their feet underneath of them. Let's go with 1910. What kind of
Well, how much
Wednesdays?
did a beer cost? Like a penny back then?
Probably.
God, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, and I think, but Busch Light and distributors in line with Busch Light have done a good job of not hiking the price up too much. The nectar.
I wonder
is
how
sacred.
high the price could get on Busch Light until the faithful Busch Light would be like, it's too much. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting, I think.
Yeah, I think the highest I've seen is like $18 for a bushel.
I've seen more than that in like places like that's very high populated in the summer. Like, for example, if like it's like a lake area,
Yep.
there's one liquor store within 10 miles. They kind of hike the prices up.
Sure.
It's just going to cost, like I've seen like $21 or $22 for a 30 rack, which
Yeah.
which is
That's out of this world.
sucky. But I've also seen people sent me like pictures of like bushels on sale for like $12. It's just like, holy crap. But speaking of drinking alcohol, Ryan, great segue. It was the first Final Four where you could have alcohol in the stadium in Minneapolis.
Really?
Leave it to the Midwest to bust out the booze at the Final Four.
Oh, of course. And it was at US Bank Stadium.
Yep.
I had a couple of people online who were at the game
Yep.
that I'm connected with, and man, the seats that they got for probably a pretty penny were, it was like watching ants on just this,
They were so
this
far up.
brown,
Yeah.
this brown square surface, these little tiny
They're
ants
probably
running
watching the
around.
game on their phone.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I mean, I didn't think it was as hyped of a game as it kind of turned out to be, but I think
I
at the
thought it
end of
lived up to the hype, which we'll get into that here
Sure.
in a sec after we take a break. All right, Ryan, I think that I will take the "you were absolutely right, Miles" speech right now. Go ahead.
So you were absolutely right. My guys, the guys in blue, Duke, did not make it out of the Elite Eight.
Boom.
And I mean, we can segue back to that podcast to the clips there. It's the old Gary Vee where when Gary Vee knows he's right, he just throws the clip on from one of his Daily V videos, whatever. This would be that for you.
Yeah, it's the recall. So, not to brag, but I was right. I was not right about Gonzaga winning. I went on record to say that Gonzaga would win. But luckily for me, as a March Madness fan, I filled out more than one bracket. And I also had Virginia winning in one of the brackets.
Yep.
Not to brag, in the ESPN thing, I was in the 99.1 percentile. There was only, not to brag again, there was only 158,000 brackets that were better than mine.
Holy smokes.
Out of
Probably
like 16 million.
yeah.
So suck on that, Ryan.
Yeah. So what? And we can go back and we can find the part of me saying that I don't think Duke will win it, which is, I think that
Just
I don't
wild.
know. Yeah. I don't know. I just had this feeling. But your pick of Virginia winning it all, they lost to a 16 seed last year.
Well, yeah, it's never been, it's every single time a 1 seed loses to a 16 seed, the very next year they win the championship. It's 100% foolproof. It's happened every single time. It's basically a law.
Yeah. I mean, there's no arguing with that one. The stats are there. Virginia, the first team to
God,
lose to
that's
a
cold.
16 seed, comes back to win the national championship.
Yeah, it's your classic comeback story. I feel for Texas Tech though.
They made a good run, man.
They were like what basketball fans would like to categorize as, they were fun to watch.
They were.
They just had a lot of different dynamics, shot a lot of threes. But I couldn't be happier. We'll get to the Virginia and Auburn game when the foul. Did you happen to see that in Germany?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: you turn on the TV and you can't find anything in English. You turn the okay. So here's a little tidbit about Germany. You turn on the German sports channel, right? You're
Yep.
watching footy.
Football.
You're watching footy, soccer game. If you
Kickball, as I like to call it.
Sure. If you fall asleep with the German sports channel on, you are not guaranteed to be watching soccer when you wake up at 2 a.m.
Why would you find like the porn channel or what, Ryan?
I don't know what kind of German sports are playing at 2 a.m., man, but there was some soft porn going on.
It's some German sports. It's just not the ones you're used to, Ryan.
Yep. So obviously that's the 2 a.m. channel that soccer fans
This is
go
a really,
to.
really, really side note, but do you remember as a kid when you'd have when you were like in the 5th or 6th grade, you'd be with your buddies on a sleepover.
Yep.
And it would be like, you'd be up at like 2 a.m. You thought it was the coolest thing ever. and then you'd find the Girls Gone Wild channel. And like there was obviously like no actual like nudity or anything, but it was just like the idea that these girls are on Girls Gone Wild and you just were like, this is the best thing ever. And you're
it
like,
was the same thing over every like 10 to 15 minutes, just the same thing over and over.
it was like you're like what, like 11, 12 years old, and you're just like, I shouldn't be doing this, but no one can tell me not to. This is the best.
Well, yeah, you're not going to go back to sleep after that.
Yeah, that was always funny because you'd always have that one buddy, which I'm sure was you, Ryan. Immediately it gets to like 2 a.m. You'd be like, all right, I got to find the channel. It never had a name. It was just the channel.
Yep.
But I don't know how we got there.
So back to the Virginia game.
You weren't able to get the Virginia game.
No, but I did see the highlights. Really the only call up in the air that I saw was the double dribble. So
that happened. It was kind of a lot going on, so I didn't really think about it at the time. Then the foul happened. I was like, oh my God. And then they kept showing the replay, and I was like, wait a minute. He definitely double dribbled.
Yeah, 100%.
So that was it's tough to be an Auburn fan at that point.
Yeah, but refs are
Charles
human.
Barkley.
Yeah, refs are human. They're gonna make mistakes.
But it's just tough that like we should do our best to try and eliminate that human error in a big game like that, you know?
Right. And
I'm not saying you review everything, but it is just like one of those things. It's like, can you believe that?
Yeah, and I feel like they're going to that more and more in every different sport. Baseball and football, I know for sure. Now they can review the pass interference in football because that rule just got passed. Baseball, honestly, man, I think they should just plug cameras with a virtual strike zone for that matches up with each hitter from like the top of the belt to the knees. They should have a camera in the umpire's helmet. It should have a virtual strike zone for that hitter, and that's how they call balls and strikes.
Well, then why do you need an umpire?
Well, you need someone to make the call.
Well, couldn't it just be like some sort of like light system?
You could, yeah, but
like
you also have to call outs at the plate. You also have to call, like the home plate umpire has more duties than just balls and strikes.
But you could just put a screen behind the catcher, and you could put a screen in the outfield somewhere that just says big enough that says that was where it was. Because like they have a technology on the TV where it's like real time. I don't know how accurate it is, but
it's pretty accurate.
So,
but I think you need to keep that aspect of the game. That's just how sports are played.
I think that's part of baseball for sure.
Yep,
more so than other sports.
Well, yeah, but
did you say
I said,
Ryan's playing footsie with me underneath the table. That's how much he missed me while he was gone.
We had to get a quick game in. So yeah, the Virginia games, I should say, I read a stat today where each of their last like 3 or 4 games in the tournament, they were down in the last minute of the game. So I think the most they were down by was like 5 in the last minute, and they came back and won every single game. Again, the calls, you could have went either way.
Yeah.
But
Virginia almost lost it there at the end.
They did.
With that, the guy got the rebound, was falling over and threw it to his buddy. His buddy turned to call timeout and just threw it out of bounds. Like a lot of bad stuff could have happened there.
Yep.
But they got fortunate. I got fortunate. I won my bracket pool that I was in with my. It was my 4th bracket I filled out. It was you enter in 5 brackets, you get the 6th one free. So I did 6 total. Pretty good deal.
Now, probably the best thing about this game was not only the ending, but the fact that they now serve alcohol.
Yeah, back to what really matters here. I don't know if it's a stadium by stadium thing or not, but
well, you wouldn't think the stadium could make the rules, so you'd think it'd have to be the NCAA.
Well, I think some like college football stadiums can serve beer, and if I am wrong, someone message me, say that I am, comment, say you're wrong about this, but I believe that some college football stadiums allow beer.
Sure.
And some do not.
And some don't. I've been to a lot of games where they don't.
Yeah.
And
I would say that the standard's probably not.
Yeah.
But there are some that do. I know that when I was playing college football in Division II, not every game had beer, but they would have a beer garden at like homecoming and
Yeah.
and games like that. So I don't think it's like necessarily 100% a no. It's I think where they get the hang up is I think the reason why I was able to is when the game happens on campus and it's a dry campus.
Yep.
That's where like the hang up.
Sure.
Gets.
That makes sense. Now I see you're wearing the Iowa Hawkeyes You Betcha
The
original
only,
hoodie.
Yeah, this is a one of one. There's only one of these in the world. You Betcha iron on letters. If you're listening on the podcast, the audio visual is it is a black sweatshirt with yellow iron on letters that say You Betcha. They are not straight. They are not
They're crooked.
lined up. They're crooked. But that's what we call grit.
Did they sell beer at the Iowa game?
No.
They didn't.
No, you have to sneak in your own.
So you got, and that's
Not
what
saying that I would never do that, but if you did, you'd have to sneak it in yourself.
Right. So I don't know. It's tough to go to a game that they don't serve alcohol inside the stadium because you pregame hard.
Oh, and
You
then
had a
just
great time in Ames or Iowa City.
It was Iowa City.
Iowa City. You're drinking beers and then you got to go in and sit there.
That's usually when I switch the flask with a nipper,
Yeah.
and I just sip
Little
on
nipper
that.
on her.
Yeah, keep the buzz going throughout the game. Yeah, it's one of those things that I think at some point it probably will get eradicated and everyone will have it. But
No, here's
also imagine like if everyone was just pounding beers at,
Oh my gosh.
at a Iowa or Iowa State football game.
it'd be nuts.
It'd be so fun.
Now, here's a question. What is your favorite like booze smuggling device?
Well, I actually just bought a Stanley flask, like the old school thermos that your grandpa had.
Okay.
They had some cool like Stanley flasks on Amazon, and I bought one of those and I used that last year.
So you're not like looking to hide anything. You're not looking like if they find the flask, like obviously there's booze in it.
I would say most places aren't like patting you down or anything.
Right. The reason I asked is because Meg has a pack of she has a pack of tampon tubes.
Yep, I've seen that. I've
And-
also seen in the binoculars too.
Okay.
Like
Yep.
the top of the binoculars you screw off.
Yep.
I know exactly. Yeah, the tampon tube.
It's a clear tube. It looks like a tampon tube.
What does a tampon look like?
I'm not even sure.
I'm not sure either. If you know what a tampon looks like, just throw it in the comments or message us.
We're gonna get so many photos in the comments.
But please do not.
Yeah, it's just a clear it's just a clear tube you fill up with booze. But here's the thing: first time we filled them with booze, one of them broke open and the bottom of the purse got soaked. So
I thought you were gonna say you filled it up and you realized it was actually a tampon,
no,
and it
No.
backfired on you.
no, it was the booze tube, and it obviously didn't go over well. So I don't know. I feel like every year I see this new booze smuggling device. I'm like, wow,
Something, yeah.
How did I not think of that?
I've seen I haven't seen it, but I saw online they were advertising. It was like a bra that had like basically you
Yeah.
fill up the actual like cups
Yep,
with booze.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
We should come up with a You Betcha booze smuggler. I mean, we wouldn't call it a booze
We
smuggler.
should just get a flask.
Yeah,
Because like a lot of our stuff is about drinking Busch Light, but it's way easier to sneak in some booze to a game. Maybe for the fall we'll have to get a You Betcha flask going.
yeah, I like that idea. So if you are a laser engraver, if
You have a flask company out there.
Hey, how many different conversations are going to be in the comment section right now? The tampons, the laser engraving. What was the other one?
I can't
There
remember.
was one more down.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
going to be
remember
down
either.
there.
But yeah,
so-
March Madness I think was fun. It's just like that time of year is the best.
Yeah, there's
But
always crazy shit happening. It doesn't matter.
And and what's coming up now that that's over is April 14th, Ryan.
Wow.
The April 14th, the moment we've all been waiting for, which we will get to after we talk a little bit about what kind of truck you like to drive. So, Ryan, as we talked about before, we got a trailer. Ryan just got just sprayed Busch Light everywhere.
Wow.
I actually did not see that coming.
I
He
know you
actually got me.
didn't.
God
I held
damn
out on it.
God damn it, Ryan. We're gonna have to like
Wow.
clip
I
that.
am wet.
That's what she said. We're gonna have to clip this later of me going like
Yeah.
that. It's gonna be great. Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Way to go, Ryan.
Well, we were going to talk about truck
Oh.
stuff.
Yeah, so we got a trailer. I have like a 2007 Ford F-150, and the thing is got like 175,000 miles on it. Bush burp. And it is just not gonna make it. It will not make it throughout the whole You Betcha Bar takeover.
It will not make it to the Showtime Saloon.
It will. The Showboat Saloon.
Showboat Saloon.
Sorry about that, Showboat. Jesse at the Showboat. So I had to go get myself a new lease. I leased a truck.
It's nice.
It's a 2019 Ford F-150. It's an XLT Sport. I wasn't like, I'm going to spend a bunch of money on the fancy King Ranch or the Platinum or anything like that. I just went with not the bare bones, but the next step up was something that's just solid, gets me from point A to point B. That's like the classic thing that people say.
I just want something
they
that's
talk
going to get
about
me
cars.
from point A to point B.
I just need something to get me from point A to point B. But yeah, so obviously I drive Ford trucks. You drive a Chevy, right, Ryan?
GMC.
A GMC,
Yeah.
sorry.
Very similar, though.
Shows how much I pay attention to Ryan when he pulls up to the bunker. I could have swore you had a Chevy.
Well, Chevy GMC,
They're closer, yeah. But so now a lot of people have reasons for which truck. I love how I just bragged about that I got a new truck and then that was it. The reason why I got the new truck is so that we can bring it to all the You Betcha Bar takeovers and pull the trailer and it be reliable and we not break down on the side of the road.
Yeah. I mean,
But-
really, the only question I have is, am I going to be able to drive it?
Absolutely not. And if you want legitimate reason, I'll just say because I said so.
Sure.
That's the legitimate reason that I need.
Well, it's not a GMC either, so
Oh
could
god.
really care less.
So people have a lot of reasons why they drive their brand of truck, right? I think that happens a lot. You either see a Chevy driver with this guy on the back,
Dude, yes, pissing.
pissing on the Ford logo, or the guy driving a Ford pissing on the Chevy logo.
Yeah.
You see it everywhere. It seems that like the big argument is between Chevy and Ford.
Yep.
You see on the TV commercials, seems that Chevy takes a lot more shots at Ford.
Yep.
I don't know, lately it seems that way. Especially where they're all carrying the tailgate. Have you seen that one where it's basically a bunch of people are just walking, carrying a tailgate, and they're going in to trade it in for their brand new Chevy tailgate that's like got all these sick features, right?
Okay.
But anyway, that's beside the point. But they do back and forth.
Yep.
I would say that one of the reasons why people, sorry, I'm getting my hats all messed up. One of the reasons why people will drive a certain brand of truck is one, because they're a motorhead and something about the engine, something about the way that it handles, this or that about the actual performance of the truck is the reason why, the longevity, whatever, is the reason why they drive a certain truck.
And I've never been about performance. I've just so I drive a GMC.
Well, so then I was going to say the second way too is I'll go first, then you'll go like why you drive a GMC.
Yep.
For me, I grew up in a family. This is like the second way is that your dad drove this brand and your grandpa drove this brand. And so your family is just a blank brand family.
Yep.
My grandpa, I don't know exactly how it all went down, but I know that he had part in a Ford dealership when he was raising my dad. My dad, my uncles, they all drive Ford trucks. My brothers and I, we all now drive Ford trucks.
Yep.
That is the main reason why I get a Ford truck, among other reasons that I like the way they look. I like the interior, all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been reliable for me. Like I said, I got mine. I've had to do some stuff to it, but I got 175,000 miles on it. So it's gone the distance.
Yep.
That is, I would say, like a second reason why someone would drive a certain brand of truck. Is yours similar to that, or?
Yeah. Obviously, like none of my, the older generations in my family, like grew up running dealerships or working at dealerships or anything like that. But my dad drove a Chevy. Now again, I'm not an expert, but I feel like Chevy and GMC align very, very well with each other. I do not go for performance. So I drive a GMC. I always, whenever I'm trying to relate to people in truck talk, which I never can, I'm like, yeah, I drive a GMC, a 6.2 liter in it.
And that's where it stops.
And then I kind of just look around like that. But really the only like performance thing I know about my truck is that I have a 6.2 liter, and that compared to the 5.3 liter is so much louder. And I actually really like that. Now, if you were like,
gets the people going.
It gets the people going. Now, if you were like, if I had to choose between like a 5.3 2017 and a 6.2 2012, I'd go with the 5.3 because that performance doesn't matter to me. I just like the newer, better looking truck. If I had the option.
Yep.
So
how'd you end up with the GMC?
That was the truck that I was getting the best deal on right at that moment.
So that would be a third point is money is the factor, right?
Yep.
Either the best deal, the best available at the certain dealership that they always get a car or truck at.
Now, we have family friends that work at the Chevy dealership. Now, my mom is also the office manager at the Chevy dealership. Yep. So that was obviously a pretty easy decision for me. But some of the best salesmen in town own the Chevy dealership that my mom works for. So I went with them. I've never driven a Ford before. I drove in high school. I drove a Dodge Durango. Now, I would never get a Dodge pickup because unless I like custom built it myself, like, you know how you can go online and like build your own truck.
I think I think everyone's done that.
Oh yeah.
You're thinking about getting a new truck and you go in and you pump every bell and whistle into that thing. You're like, oh, $70,000, not that bad.
Yeah.
I think I can maybe swing that payment. And you're like, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Now that's the only reason I would buy a Dodge is if I could get that truck that I design online. Like I said, after the Dodge Durango, I drove a Chevy S10.
Mm-hmm. And S10?
S10.
Just a little guy.
Yep. Stick shift.
What color was it?
Like a chrome, like a silver whitish. Couple sandbags in the back, way down the backside there in the winter.
Oh yeah,
you always see it. And then I drove a Chevy, like a 1999 Chevy, and then a couple years ago I got a 2011 GMC.
Nice.
I like the look of Chevy GMC. Again, I'm not for performance. I loved the look of the old Ford I think it was called the Ford Heritage trucks. I think they stopped the Heritage. I think it's called the Heritage line in like 2011 or 12.
Yeah, I remember that.
I really like the look of those. But I love the look of your truck. I just don't know if I would go buy a Ford.
Yeah.
I'm not like oh my gosh, Miles, you're a Ford guy. Like you must be.
But there are people out there who are like that.
There are. And I would love to know the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Like why do you hate on Chevy drivers? Why do you hate on GMC drivers? Why do you hate on Ford drivers? Because there are some hardos out there.
And a lot of them, I think, actually probably have good reasons.
Absolutely. Ford coming out with the aluminum body, making it a lot lighter. There were videos surfacing like you could take a knife and like puncture the side of the Ford, just like boom, just like that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I remember
people were like all up in arms about that. Now, is that a huge deal to me? No, but to some people, like, well, I'm going to be throwing a bunch of stuff in the back of my truck, so I don't want.
Well, I remember one ad. I think it was probably a Chevy ad. They like dropped these like sharp, super heavy boulders in the back, and like one pierced it and one didn't. It's like, well, part of that too, like the point hit the metal just right, whereas the other one,
Yeah.
it's a little bit
Come
like,
on.
yeah. But back to like we were talking about your first car. So actually my first ever car I got when I got my driver's license. I think I got my driver's license at 15.
Okay.
And it was like the hand-me-down. My dad bought this thing used.
Yep.
Because like you said, all he cared about was it going to start in the winter? And does it get you from point A to point B? That's all that matters.
That's all it is.
And it actually had a V8 engine. It was a Dodge. So we both had
Okay.
Dodge. It was a Dodge Dakota Sport. So it wasn't
Nice.
as small of as a S10.
Yep.
But it was still a like pretty small truck compared to
Yep.
like a F-150 or whatever. Same thing, sandbags in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the truck that we passed down throughout my brothers, right? My older brother drove it, I drove it, my younger brother drove it. Yeah, it had a V8 in it. And it was like this thing, we like to say, that thing was not pretty. It was like paint was chipping off the side.
Yep.
The interior it was bad, but that thing had some balls.
Oh,
is
yeah.
what we like to say.
Now,
And it's just funny because it's like, yeah, just because we are a Ford family, like we still were like, well, this truck is the best available. So let's just take
Yeah.
that for the budget we have of this and that. Actually, that thing was sweet. I like that truck.
you sold it off, huh?
No, my younger brother. Well, our family sold it.
Okay.
My younger brother drove for a while, and then we
Yeah.
sold it, and we actually got a pretty good amount of money for what.
Well, it had balls, man.
It had
you don't find
balls.
too many trucks that have balls on it.
It was a hot commodity because it did have that V8 in it, and it was like, yeah, it was sweet. It started up no problem. It
Yeah.
never died in the winter.
So the S10 that I drove was actually my dad's first car that he ever.
Oh, that's kind of cool though.
Yeah, it was either I'm pretty sure it was the first car he ever bought by himself, which was at like 18 years old. So
Yep.
I think it was 1988. My dad bought this Chevy S10. He still has the photo of him at the dealership with the S10.
I never did that with the new one I got.
We might have to go back and do that. So it was super cool because he drove that for years, and then I got to drive it, and I still remember the day we sold it. We sold it to a guy, and at this time I don't think Craigslist might have been very small, but I think it was just word of mouth at this point.
Yep.
But a little town called Fergus Falls, Minnesota. We sold the S10 to a guy in Fergus Falls, and my dad was pretty tore up about it.
He later he probably like had a couple whiskeys or something. and
Yeah,
just-
I'm pretty sure the whole ride home, he definitely regretted selling it. You know, you go over that regret stage, and then
because it was pretty old.
yeah, but
So you got a few $1,000s for it.
I honestly think he got like 600 cash for it.
Oh man, that's tough.
I know, and I think he regretted it the whole way home. Obviously, you go through that stage, and then you're like, you get something bigger and better, and you get over it. But man, that little S10, that thing,
And that's how you and him will refer to it for the rest of your life is, man, that little S10.
a little S10, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Like that Dodge really had balls.
Yeah, and I think towards the end of its life too, and I mean, this is just off topic. We're talking S10s now. For some reason, he took the tailgate off of it because I think
And he just had a wood plank there.
no, I had nothing. So he used to throw my dog in the back, and my dog would just ride back there from the old tailgate.
I love
Just
that.
like, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
We had a couple instances where Eddie would jump off the back and just have to stop and load him back in. But
Hey, Eddie,
there was
what are
no
you
room
doing,
for a
buddy?
dog. It was, you couldn't even, it
Teeny
was a
tiny in
two-seater.
there. Yeah.
I still remember that thing, and that's where I learned to drive
You ever
stick
pick
shift.
up a date in that?
No, that was my dating life started with the Dodge Durango.
There you go. Well, that's when he really started getting chicks.
Oh yeah, that thing was a hog.
Yeah, chick magnet is
Yep.
what they call that.
Yep. Who knows? We might drive up to Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin, in a little S10 with a big U Motors trailer in the back.
Should we see if we can shop around for an S10 without a tailgate on it?
If we came around that little S10, I'd buy it back for double.
Wow.
What if I did that and then drove it into my dad's
Give it
driveway.
back to him.
Oh my God.
Would he melt?
He would.
Oh, let's get a big.
Oh.
Oh, hopefully he doesn't listen to this.
He will.
You say he will or he
Yeah,
won't?
he will.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
that'd be interesting.
That
though.
was a very open-ended truck talk, but
Yeah.
we covered all the bases, I think. So if you drive a truck, tell us what brand. If you are a hardo about it, if you are not a hardo, but you have a specific reason why you drive your truck, let us know. And then we'll start. I think that concludes that segment. We'll talk about the greatest day of spring that's ever happened ever. Coming up. All right, we've been talking on the podcast a little bit. It's finally here, April 14th, Masters Sunday, and Season 8 Game of Thrones premiere. It's really weird that we're finally here, Ryan, because it has been so long. Have you ever watched Game of Thrones? I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I've watched like the first 8 episodes.
Okay. So we're going to now do a segment, and don't give me the, I don't know, man. I don't know. I want you to tell me how you think Game of Thrones ends after watching 8 episodes of Game of Thrones as a lead in to season 8 premiere.
So how I think season 8 will end.
Yeah, like even if you don't know any of the characters' names, just make something
So
up.
I think that someone, whoever that may be, I think both of the dragons will die.
Both of the 3 dragons.
There's 3 of them.
There's 3 dragons, yes.
Okay, so I thought there was only 2.
Well, you are technically right. If you have not seen the show and you still want to, we're going to talk some spoilers here, so maybe shut it down or go past it. But one of the dragons of the 3 does actually die. But then it's brought back to life.
Okay.
So technically there's still 3 dragons.
Okay.
So
So
2
I think
of the dragons are going to die.
I think the White Walkers will kill the dragons.
Okay, that's
And
happened
then-
once already.
They killed the dragon?
Yep, 1 dragon. That's how it died. Then
Damn,
it came
okay.
back to life because now it is a white walking dragon, basically.
Wow.
So you're basically George R.R. Martin here.
So I hear a lot about this red wedding.
Okay. What about the
So-
Red Wedding?
Well, I think that the White Walkers are going to battle against Khaleesi's clan, her castle, whatever she owned, or whatever.
So you think that Daenerys of the House Targaryen, Stormborn, Breaker of Chains, the Unburnt, a bunch of other names, Khaleesi.
Yep.
You think that she is going to fight the Night King?
The White Walkers.
Who is a White Walker? Who's the leader of the White Walkers?
The Night King.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. That's going to happen, Ryan.
Okay.
They are going to do that. So you're on the right track. Keep going. And how is that going to end?
So has that already happened?
They haven't fought. Wait, there's like a little battle, but like the real battle hasn't happened yet.
Okay, so I didn't watch deep enough into it to even
I know,
know
but
what the
just-
White Walkers are.
Just keep
So
going.
the fact that they are people or
They're dead.
Okay.
They're basically like zombies.
So I think at the end of it, Khaleesi will die.
Okay.
She will become a White Walker. And then season 9 will be about the
There's no season 9. This
How do
is
you
the
know?
last season.
Well, yeah, they say that.
No,
Like,
this is literally
they said that Fargo, they said the show Fargo season 2, which is a great show actually, is the last season of Fargo, and now there's a season 3.
no. This is way different.
They said Conor McGregor is retiring from the UFC and he's coming back to fight
Okay.
again.
So no, it's never gonna happen, Ryan. So she dies, becomes a White Walker.
Yes.
What about the rest of the people?
Well, the reason I don't watch Game of Thrones is because there's way too many people involved.
Do you know any other character's name other than White Walker?
Tyrion.
Tyrion. Yeah,
Yep.
the
dwarf.
midget. Yeah, the dwarf. What's gonna happen to him?
So, well, he's gonna die. He's just gonna die because one thing I learned about Game of Thrones is you can't get attached to any character because they're just gonna die the
They'll
next
kill him
episode
off.
or season.
You're right.
So I don't even know what village or
So how is what is gonna be the resolution of the entire show? What's gonna happen?
well, I think the route I'm going down, there has to be a season 9. Otherwise, I have to pick a different route as to what's going to happen at the end.
So the Night King wins then, is what you're saying?
Yes,
Because
yes.
all right, there you have it from someone who's only seen 8 episodes a while ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
A while ago, 8 episodes,
3 years ago.
3 years ago. So it's super fresh in his brain. He's
Yeah.
only seen 8 episodes. Ryan, the T-shirt guy, is predicting that Daenerys Targaryen will become a White Walker and Tyrion Lannister will die.
Yep.
He has no idea what's going to happen to the rest of them, but all he knows is that the Night King will win.
Yeah, I think that's all that needs to be said.
If that stuff actually came through, oh my God.
I would brag about that.
I don't even want to offer up my thing because I haven't decided yet.
So you've been thinking
crazy?
about it.
I've been thinking about it on an unhealthy level.
So
I will lay awake at night and be like, what does the Night King want? What is he coming for? What does he want?
okay, like I said, they're 8 episodes in. I thought the White Walkers were just like these they're ghosts.
They're real.
Okay, so I think what we should do is we should maybe do a live stream podcast watching Game of Thrones, like Joe Rogan does the
Yeah,
MMA
but
shows.
so here's the thing. This is way too important to me to be doing content with it. And because I've thought about even doing Facebook Live, my reaction to this show.
It means
And
that
I don't
much to
even
you,
want to
huh?
do that because I don't even want that. I just want to be able to be totally immersed in, I might.
Well, we don't even. Here's the joy of this: we don't even need to we should just be on air, and it'll be the reaction podcast.
Well, so maybe we should do it immediately after it's done or something.
Okay, we could do that, but I would love for the people to see how you
My
are
reaction, yeah.
when you're watching Game of Thrones.
Like I said, I on an unhealthy level, I watch YouTube theories.
Oh my God.
I'm constantly being okay, I remember this character. I need to know more about him. And I'll just Google him on the fan sites and figure out his history and this and that.
Who's the creator of Game of Thrones?
George R.R. Martin.
What was his past life? What did
He's just a writer. So he wrote, it's based off of the book, The Song of Ice and Fire.
Okay.
Ice being the dragons are fire.
Yep.
The Night King, the White Walkers are ice, kind of that play on.
Interesting.
And you see that throughout the whole thing, not to get too nerdy.
Sure.
But yeah, so I have told my friends who I will be watching this with, who are also intense about this show, that I will have my theory of what I think it's going to end before season 8 starts, so that I can see if I'm right or not. But it's what, 6-7 days away, or 6 days,
5 days away.
5-6 days away. And I still haven't completely formulated what I think is going to happen.
Have you done this before another season? Before season 7, did you formulate a theory?
No. So
season 8 is hyped.
This is hype city for me. I'm excited. I haven't seen much talk about it with the fans, so I don't know how many fans we have as Game of Thrones fans. So that's why we haven't done much content with it. But man, I'm excited. I don't know. It's I'm glad that we got your prediction, Ryan.
The king in the castle, or whatever his name is going to win.
The kid in the castle?
King in the castle.
Kid in the castle.
No, the king in the castle.
You know, the king. Which king?
The Night King or whatever.
Yeah.
What was his
The
name?
Night King's going to win.
Is that the name?
So that's the guy who is
Okay,
the king
so
of the White Walkers.
Okay, the Night King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll spark note it.
Just go read the synopsis of each.
Spark notes. So
each
okay, so
episode.
there's seven seasons right now. How many episodes in each season?
10 up until last season. There was only 7, but the episodes were longer, so it ended up being about the same amount of hours.
So
and this season's only 6 episodes, but like
Ooh.
some of the episodes are like upwards to like an hour and a half long.
So there's like in the first 7 seasons, there's like 70 hours.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I would love to watch it, man. Maybe I should start, but I
you should have enough time between now and Sunday. It's only Tuesday.
I think I would have to take the full week of work off and watch I'd have to watch over a season a day.
Yeah, it's just not possible, man. Well, it is.
I mean,
but
it is possible, but man,
you have that much PTO backed up for Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, there you
I
go.
would walk into this place like
I did it. I watched it all. So be looking for my reaction somewhere on social media. It might just be on the stories of Instagram and Facebook. Maybe I'll do a live tweet thread too. Something like that. I'll do something.
I would love to live podcast it because I know nothing about it. So
you'd be like, what the hell just happened? What is that?
Hey, Miles. So
that actually would be very frustrating for me.
I know it would.
I would hate it. That's why we're not doing it, Ryan.
It's like that person who watches a movie that isn't paying attention. They're like, wait, what just happened? Or who's that person? What do they exactly do?
Or
the most annoying thing in movies.
Yeah, that's why we're not doing it, Ryan. Well,
so
guys,
we should do a post Game of Thrones podcast.
Maybe even like just like a 20-minute that we just post up on Monday.
So it's on HBO, right?
Yep.
Maybe I should just watch
season
episode 1 of season 8, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Well, I just want to say thanks one more time to our sponsors, U Motors, for hooking us up with a trailer. They have boats. They have all sorts of toys, motorcycles, you name it. They're in Fargo, North Dakota, and Pelican Lake, Minnesota. Sorry. And then also the Showboat Saloon, $1 bush lights on Wednesdays, live bands, everything you could ever want. We'll be there on April 27th for the first ever You Betcha bar takeover. Close her out, Ryan.
Yeah, guys, we just concluded episode 14. Thanks again for tuning in. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. The bar takeovers are going to be a lot of fun. We now have a trailer to put everything in. So if you see a nice Ford F-150 in a big old U Motors trailer driving down the interstate, you know where we're going.
Ryan's probably in the back in the trailer, not in the cab.
Either in the trailer or I'll be strapped to the hood. So, guys, go follow us on social media at OUBetcha. That's at OHHUBetcha. I am also on social media at Ryan the T-shirt guy. And then we're still wrangling up the best ranch in the Midwest, in which we will be wrangling the Showboat Saloon Ranch on April 27th.
Well, not the actual. We'll do a ranch wrangler there, but it won't actually be the ranch wrangler.
Okay, so we'll be doing a ranch wrangler at Showboat
It'll be
Saloon.
actually like a store-bought ranch because we've had a lot of requests for that, but.
So we're still in the game. We're still looking forward. At Ranch Wrangler. Episode 14 is in the books. The T-shirts and sweatshirts
will be on your way.
We're about to get hot, baby.
Oh, God. We are almost hot, baby.
Those will be getting printed up real soon. I'm going to get those out to you guys as soon as possible. I am Ryan the T-shirt guy.
And I am Miles the You Betcha guy. May your ranch always be runny. May your bush lattes forever be cold. Cheers, Ryan. Oh my God, that's cold. Ugh, wow.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.